Now, I know y'all saw All-Star Weekend. I know y'all saw the 3-point competition, dunk contest, skill challenge, and the All-Star game. Of course, if you didn't watch it, I'm gonna be real, you didn't miss too much, but we're gonna go over that in this video. Before we do that, please do me a favor, go ahead and drop a like on this video. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that now, because why not subscribe to the best basketball discussion channel on YouTube? Enough of all that, let's get into the video. Now, of course, All-Star Weekend always begins on Friday with the celebrity game. I almost said celebrity all-star, but it's not really an all-star game, it's just a celebrity game. Now, it's gotten more and more boring over the years. To me, there's been more and more actors, actresses, and people that I don't really quite know that are playing in it. Maybe it might be because I'm not into mainstream pop culture too much. That could be the reasoning, but there are a couple people out there that I did know, like Janelle Monáe, DK Metcalf. You had Megatron out there and everything. There's a couple other people in there that you know, like Corday was out there too, but for the most part, it's a bunch of people that don't really hoop. You could tell they don't really hoop, and then when they have the football guys there, they're just uber athletic, so they're able to do whatever they want. Truth be told, DK Metcalf had like 3 or 4 dunks back to back. Now, honestly, you could fix this by probably having more basketball YouTubers play. I know Jester the Laser, this is probably like his 3rd time being in it. I know I've seen him quite a bit. I don't know if he's directly been in that game, but I know this is at least his 2nd time in that game. But you could get more basketball YouTubers that literally do this for a living. It would probably be more entertaining. You get a younger audience watching because those are the people watching them on YouTube. And hell, there's even people around my age that are watching them on YouTube. So you could get a pretty big audience watching that, especially because it'll be on the grand stage. There'll be people talking about it on social media. So it'll actually be a very good draw, very good marketing tool. If you're not going to do that, start to get more prominent celebrities. Some of those celebrities that come to the game, get some of those guys, get some of the guys that play in the crew league. If you watch that on YouTube, you could get MLE Choppa, you could get Quavo, you could get guys like 21 was in this game. But there's a plethora of guys that play basketball that are big celebrity guys that would actually have a big draw. Now, I'll be completely honest, I feel like Utah was a bad setting for this kind of environment. All-Star Weekend is normally a time where there's just a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of people out and stuff like that, and Utah just didn't seem like the place for that. Utah, it felt very out of place the whole night, I'm not gonna lie. Following the celebrity game on Saturday, of course, comes the skills challenge. This was boring as ever. They had the Antetokounmpo brothers. I think this is like the 2nd year they've done this. I don't know if they're pushing Giannis to be the face of the league, the ambassador of the league, but I will be honest, if he is, he's a good guy for it. I noticed a lot of the time on Sunday when they were picking the all-star team, he kept reiterating over and over again that every selection is a great selection, trying to drive the point home that nobody's a last pick, kind of like the fat kid at the playground. But honestly, it didn't take geniuses to realize, Adam Silver, that the last reserve pick is gonna be the last guy picked. That's essentially the last pick. Now, Jokic said, F that, I'm not gonna be the last pick, and jumped up in front of Lauri Markkanen, which is crazy because really they're in Lauri cities, but it is what it is. I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself. We're on the skills challenge right now, so let me chill out. Now, the other 2 teams that were in the skills challenge, they involved the rookies. That was Jabari Smith, Jaden Ivey, Paolo Banchero, and then the last team was Utah's representing team, which had Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler, and Jordan Clarkson. Now, this is star power, especially for a guy like me that knows some of these younger guys. The Antetokounmpo brothers, you could kind of tell why they weren't quite in the league and why Giannis is in the league doing what he's doing. You could see the discrepancy in how good the older brother is from the youngest brother, Alex. Now, Alex is only 21, so he has time, but even still, you could see the discrepancy. Giannis did not play because, of course, he hurt his wrist before the All-Star break, so Drew was an Antetokounmpo brother for the night. Drew, you could see the difference in NBA talent versus non-NBA talent, and Alex, and even Thanasis. Thanasis probably shouldn't be on that team, but that's neither here nor there. The Utah team was the winners in that. Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler, and Jordan Clarkson, they put on for the hometown, but it was a bore fest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, on Saturday, the competitions that we really wait for, really want, are the 3-point shootout and the dunk contest. Now, the 3-point contest, I'll get to that in a moment because everybody's been talking about the dunk contest primarily, how Mac McClung has quote unquote saved it. I don't quite think he saved the dunk contest per se. I still think it was pretty boring other than what he could do. And honestly, as a person that is very, very avid in basketball, and if you're watching me on this channel right now, I'm sure you're in the same boat. But we've been watching Mac McClung since he was in high school. We've been seeing him do these things. That's not to say the dunks that he did weren't amazing. That's not to say he didn't put on a show. He did all those things, do not get me wrong. However, we've seen this. We weren't as surprised as Shaq was, as Kenny was, as those guys on TNT were. We're not shocked by this because we've seen this. That's my whole point. Now, the participants included Kenyon Martin Jr., Jericho Sims, and Trey Murphy. Now, all these people have bounce. They're great in-game dunkers. I love seeing Trey Murphy. I love seeing Kenyon Martin Jr., Jericho Sims. He's the next guy that has the 2K allegations. Hopefully he can learn some basketball, not just athleticism, but he had an embarrassing performance. He did 2 honey dip dunks back to back, the same dunk, and then he had like it clipped to the net, and it was supposed to be a piece of paper that said 50 on it, but the 50 was torn, so it kind of lost its magic. It was crazy. I'm glad he got eliminated. Maybe it was nerves, it could have been that, but I don't know. But regardless, the dunk contest was boring other than Mac McClung. There's people saying it's revived, it's back. You had to sign Mac McClung to a 10-day contract to do that. It's not revived, it's not back. Now, things that you can do, and this is to fix it. If it doesn't work, then I got another idea if it doesn't work. But to fix it, choose 10 players. Have the fans vote on which players they want to participate in the dunk contest. Make it 4 players, 5 players, 6 players, how many ever players, but have a pool of players that fans can vote on. And when they vote on them, the fans have control over who's in the dunk contest. It's very direct of who the fans want to see and who they know. Another thing you could do is give the winner $1 million bonus. Now, not only are you going to get young guys that really have bounce out of the gym, you're also going to get guys from the G League and stuff that might have bounce that we don't know their name, and they're gonna get some shine. Now, this one would be the most intriguing to me, but change at least one round, preferably the last round's voting, to either social media voting or a live voting of the people that are in the arena. This would probably take a lot of logistics and some works to get and, get going and stuff like that. But in the final round, if you had a live voting sort of like this, I believe there would be a lot more intrigue and drama when it comes to the dunk contest, but you can also get a feel for what the crowd wants so that next year you could just keep building and getting better and better and better on the dunk contest. Now, if none of this works and, they say, let's do away with the dunk contest, what should we do? I think you should have either a king of the court kind of event or have a one-on-one tournament involving some of the D-League stars and some of the rising stars that are coming into the NBA. You can have guys like Scoot playing against guys that are already in the league now, and that would be such an interesting draw just in itself, especially for fans like us, where we actually know who these players are. We've been watching them for a while, and we get to see them go one-on-one on nationally televised game. Come on, bro, that would do numbers, and you're lying to me if you think otherwise. But to conclude it all, the dunk contest, it was absolutely boring. Most of us know that if you've been on social media, and it's unfortunate. Then there was the 3-point contest, and I honestly think the 3-point contest is more anticipated because of how the NBA's play style has changed over the last couple years, where we're seeing more 3-point dominant shooting players, teams, and successful teams that are 3-point dominant, as opposed to seeing banging bodies in the post, driving to the cup, things like that, like we saw in the older NBA. So I feel like that's why the 3-point contest has a little bit more draw. But the participants, they included Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Kevin Huerter, Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, and they had Jason Tatum and Julius Randle. Julius Randle was replacing Anthony Simons, who got hurt right before the break. Now, I feel like it was like any other 3-point contest. It's always pretty exciting. It starts out a little bit dull because you could tell the players are still kind of warming up a little bit, but once you get into the second, third, and final rounds and stuff, it gets a little bit more exciting because the players are getting heated up. They're starting to hit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots in a row, and it was pretty dope. I like the 3-point contest personally. I'm a shooter personally, so I just like to watch players shoot in their form. I love seeing 5 shots from one spot, every spot. Like I'm one of those guys that I love seeing a player work out, and honestly, the 3-point competition is kind of like watching players work out. 5 shots from each spot, and then you got a 130 footer, but still, you're still watching them go from each spot to each spot. Now, Damian Lillard, he barely beat Buddy Hield by 1 point in an exciting final round. It was, like I said, it was what it was. Overall, All-Star Weekend, it needs to just have a little bit more excitement to it, but something that needs to help as well is not having it in a place like Utah. I've never been to Utah, so I can't disrespect Utah itself, but I will say this: Utah is not the place for that kind of star attraction. When we see All-Star Weekend, we think of All-Star Weekend, we think of stars out, we think of the Rihannas of the world, the Moneybagg Yos, the different people that are just of a different status that we don't see on a regular basis, showing up to this one venue and, you know, having a good time, laughing with the players, all this other stuff that goes on normally during All-Star Weekend. This year, the vibe wasn't really there with regards to that. Hopefully they can figure it out a little bit more. Again, if you don't figure out a way to get this dunk contest together, figure out a different event that you could get planned. I'm surprised you guys haven't thrown out the idea of a one-on-one tournament or King of the Court. Maybe it's something that is, you know, out of the realm of possibility and we don't realize why. But regardless of anything else, it seems like y'all haven't really done much to fix it, especially because you see guys like Shadon Sharp pulling out of the dunk competition, which he honestly was the reason most people were excited for the dunk contest. Him and Mac McClung going head to head, that was really the biggest draw, at least it was for me. So having a guy like that pull out, especially because he was snubbed from the Rising Stars game, that's on the NBA. I don't think that's on him, especially because I think he deserved to be in the Rising Stars game. The All-Star game itself, it was a pretty good game. I'm one of those people that like the All-Star game itself because it's pretty much a glorified pickup game. It is the league's biggest stars going against each other. Obviously, there's no defense because they're not trying to get hurt. Who wants to get hurt with 20 games left into the season? Not only is that a liability for not only the league and its owners, but for the players too. So I understand why there's no defense. And to be completely honest, most of you guys that are complaining about it and saying it's an over-glorified this, is that, and basically just saying it's the worst game ever and all that stuff, I must say this: you guys are probably the guys that don't go play pickup basketball, because after the second, third, or fourth game, most guys are walking up court the same way you see the NBA guys do. Most guys are going one-on-one battling because there were 2 guys that were talking shit the whole hoop session. Most guys are watching 1 or 2 guys shoot threes and go crazy. Most times when a guy gets hot like Jason Tatum did, who broke the record scoring 55 points, it's not gonna be 55 points because obviously pickup games don't go that long, but when there's a guy cooking in pickup, he's getting the ball pretty much every possession and he's gonna cook up, because why do we have to run back and forth and exert hella energy if he gonna cook up? It don't make no sense. And most of you guys that are complaining about it, I guarantee you probably cannot dribble the ball with your left hand without looking down at it. So I'm gonna need y'all get that together before y'all talking about these NBA players, these NBA games, and the game that I love. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this video. I low-key probably sounded attacked there. I'm not feeling attacked, but hey, it is what it is. It's your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories in the base on the tube, and y'all already know what it is. As always, I'm out. Peace.